So every few years, the rain god sends his flatline soldiers into my vicinity to destroy homes, properties, and sometimes even steal lives. This year, it chose the 22nd of September. So the thing is, there's this big gutter that flows behind my house, and anytime it rains, it really rises and sometimes overflows and even breaks the walls, bringing dirty muddy water into our homes. My walls have been broken down 2 times by these massive floods, which I've personally experienced or care about 4 times in the 32 years of my existence in this house. So the first one I can remember happened about 20 years ago. I was very young at the time, but I still have flashes of it stuck in my memory because it was the first time our walls broke. The second one, which also brought down the walls that we had just built after the first one, happened on 3rd June 2015 and it caused a very devastating disaster in Accra.
Dubbed Black Wednesday in Ghana, the twin fire and flood disaster on a wet evening left dozens dead and others with permanent disability.
As you
can see, it has been cordoned off with pictures of some of those who died during the June 3 flood and fire disaster. And just behind me is an artwork made of plastic waste to draw the attention of city authorities and citizens to the cause of this tragic incident.
It rained for more than 8 hours, with the intense part of it in the night. The rains exposed Accra as not too resilient to natural phenomena.
It was a sad time for Ghana, and it took my family about 3 years to raise money to rebuild a more fortified wall to hopefully withstand the next floods. So fast forward on the 29th of May 2020, exactly a week after my birthday, the floodline soldiers came again, and this time the wall stood still, it took the pressure, but the front of the house took some beating. We fixed it and life went back to normal, well, at least for a few years. That brings me to today's story, which happened about 3 weeks ago. I was in the middle of a nap when the loud storm woke me. It was so loud, and because of past events, PTSD began to set in. I went behind the house to have a look at the gutter, and it was filled to its brim. Then to the front of the house in an attempt to see what was happening. To my surprise, it was like the main road in front of my house had also turned into a gutter, filled to its brim. Now I was getting nervous, So I sealed every hole that might allow water into the house, and then put the valuable things that were close to the ground on tables and inside cabinets, just in case the water came inside. Soon after, the rains began to subside, but that was the time that the flood from the road started finding its way into the house through the spaces under the gates. Then with a strong force, it pushed the gates open. Oh! All this while I thought the gate was locked with a padlock, but unfortunately it wasn't. So, for about 3 minutes to 6 minutes, I rushed to the gate and, struggling with the force of the wind and the water, I managed to lock it with the padlock. Dirty water was now heavily on the compound, finding its way into the house. At this moment, I just knew there was nothing else I could do, so I just sit and watch it do its worst. The compound was filling up quickly, and soon after, the floods entered the rooms. My bedroom, which doubles as my YouTube studio, was filled with disgusting muddy water, and I watched as some of my art supplies had already started swimming, or should I say drowning. Every room in the house was now filled with mud, and to make things worse, ECG had taken out the power, so it was dark and very hard to maneuver. So I put on this exclamation puff case body harness bag, to safeguard my camera and my phone, whilst I tried to figure this mess out. For a second, I was feeling like I was in a movie and I had to come up with innovative ideas to keep my family safe. But this was no movie, my guy. The level of the water right now on the compound was high enough for any dangerous animal to be creeping under. I was particularly scared of snakes, so it took me quite some nerve to be standing in this pool of mud. Thank God this little fella was all I had to worry about. My neighbors had their own portion of the mess cut out for them. And it wasn't looking any easier for them as they started trying to get the mud out. And that was my cue to find a way to flush the mud out of my compound. But just take a look around. Where do I even start? This is my first ever painting I did on canvas. I didn't know whether to make abstract paintings or go for realistic styled paintings. So I made a canvas from materials lying at home, bought some cheap paint, and tried an abstract painting to see if it was my thing. Well, I hated it, but something just said to keep it, but I still hate it. So maybe not this time. Before that experiment, I actually thought abstract paintings were easy, but I quickly found out that they were one of the hardest things to get right.
Oh, just not open. What? Hey. It's crazy, man. I tried to use this to, create some sort of a barricade, but hey, it didn't do shit. It didn't do shit. Close this door before there's water. Just keeps entering.
I have to make a hole in the wall here so that water inside can flow outside. But there's still a lot of water on the compound, so I think that must wait. So I start by dealing with the compound. My first idea was to try and get some of the water out the same way it came in, through the gates. Say little by little the bird builds its nest, but this wasn't doing that much, so I had to rethink my ideas because evening was fast approaching. I unplugged the first hole that could let water out as soon as it was safe too, and some family friends came by to help us clean the house too. There wasn't much we could do yet until we had let the water drain out through the holes, which meant waiting overnight and sleeping on a half-soaked mattress. I won't say I had a good night's sleep, but morning came soon. That means time to get back to work, cleaning the house. I had more friends coming to help me clean the house. Yo, eliminators, I don't know what I would have done without these guys, bro. They are the biggest eliminators right now. They help me eliminate all this mud, and I'm so much thankful for it. Brakweku helped me drill this monster hole to get most of the water out. Most of the water in my room had drained out, but this was nowhere near relief. I was still stressed as fuck. The earlier the better, so I get to work cleaning my bedroom/YouTube studio because the Walt Disney dream is still alive, and this is not what is going to stop me from chasing it. And I also needed a place to sleep and edit this video for you guys. I just believe that there's a lot that the government can do to save many Ghanaians from going through this situation every year. So please share this video so many people can see it. And just maybe there will be a better drainage system in Ghana when I see you in my next video. Peace.